Yeah, hello fellow. Today I'm going to show you how to make a front-end pagination using React. The small app we are going to make will be similar to this one. So for this one, you select 10 posts at a time. So like that, you select that. Also highlights which one is being selected. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. Okay, so let's go. First thing is to create our project. Create our React app project. So cdm prompt cdm we can't get rid of this now, so I'm going to create mine in my document cd documents, and then I want to use the create react app command, if you like. Create react app, google it, create react app. So that's what they're telling us to use. So using npx, right, paste that one, and then we call our project, we can call it react pagination, react pagination. Okay, enter. So that will start running. So we're also going to, while that one is running, we are also going to use Axio as well. If I go here, np and Axio. So that's what we're going to use to fetch our data. Seem to be a bit stable. Right, let's this, wait for this to run. What else are we going to use? So that one is there. We're also going to use JavaScript functions. Free word school. I'm going to use this function as well. I think the word 3 school slice. I will use this function. I'll explain that one later. That's the function we're trying to use. We're also going to use another function. Word 3 school. Another JavaScript function. So those are the kind of, so that's what we need to use. Let's see how it's doing. It's running. I'll take some time. Still running. So I'm going to pause the video and then come back when this is finished. It's going to take some time. Right, the installation is now done. So let's cd in our project. We called it React Pagination, and we'll open it using, we're going to use Visual Studio. So code dash period. I'll open up our Visual Studio, hopefully. Right, so this is our React app now. Make sure I've got everything there. Yes. So what we need is to open up a terminal within the Visual Studio and try and run the app. npm start. So hopefully that will start our app. Right. Another one is running. Okay, another port is being used. Okay, just yes. Right, it's running on port 3001. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Right, now the app is running. So we have to remove the bits we don't really need. So we don't need, for this project, we can't delete that. We can't delete that. We don't need to test it for this simple project. Remove this one as well. This one hasn't gone. Remove. I can get rid of that one as well. I'm trying to get rid of for this project. Get rid of that one as well. We don't need to do any testing. Can get rid of that. And we don't need, what don't we need here? We don't need all this. We don't need all this CSS for now. So that one is done. Index.js, we don't need this. We don't need this. So we don't need that. What else don't we need? Right, we have to remove all this. We can remove all this and just give this one an H tag. H1, and I call this posts. Right. What else do we need to remove? We don't need this one. I think that's so. Let me just index. Okay, let's see how our app is doing. Okay, so that one. So we just have what we really need, the bare minimum we need. Okay. So now we need two components. Create two components. One we call it posts. That's the one we use to render our posts. And the next one is going to be the pagination, the one with the button you select, you click on to select which post to render, which range to render. So let's go. Let's create one called posts. Posts.js, and it's going to be functional components. So React function component, and we'll call this one posts, and it's going to be wrapped in a div, and I'll call this, I'll just give it an H tag for now so that I know just to know whether it's working. So we call this one post from post. Just to make sure it's working. We create another one. So that one's done. We create another one called I'll call it pagination. Page.js. It's also going to be a function component. And we'll call it pagination. Right. We're going to wrap it in a div. Give it an h tag, h1, and I will just say from pagination. So now these are created, exported. So let's bring them into our main component. So the first one is posts. Oh, sorry, it's got to be wrapped up. Posts. That should automatically import itself. It hasn't. That was fine. Another one is going to call pagination. Pagination. Okay. So let's import them. Import. Posts from posts. Okay. This is going to be pagination. From pagination. So that should hopefully. Okay, yeah. So we're receiving both components. Okay, now we know that one is wired up. The next thing is to we are going to use React hooks. So we need to bring the use effect and use state. So I could put it up here. So import. We're going to import two of them from React, and we are going to import use effect. And use state. Kiddo. Right, so now we have that. So the next is to set our states. Right. So we need posts, we need length, we need page size. So if I go constant, because I use state as a function and initialize it's going to be an array. So we need so this will have posts set posts. Another one we need is constant because you state, and this is going to be the length. How many posts do we have? So initialize this to 1 at the moment. So it's going to be length set state set set length. Okay, so we need the length, we need this. What else do we need? The next thing we may need the page size. How many posts are you going to display per button? So button 1, 10, button 3, another 10. So we can create another one for that. Because use state and we initialize this to initialize this to 1. So this will be the page size or the number of posts per page, but I just call it page size. Set page size. Right, so now that one is done. So another important thing now to do, just reduce this, move this one a bit, get rid of this now. So the next thing is to fetch the info from the so-called JSON API. So we are going to use effect. It's the same as component did mount. So it's going to be use effect. It's a function. We need a callback within that function. So now we need to create that function that's going to fetch our information within the use effect. Constant, I'll call it get posts equals, you're going to use arrow function. It's going to be async right. So now we're going to store that information once it comes, once we fetch it into a variable. We could call it res, which stands for response, because we are going to use await, and we are using axio. We are going to use axio, but we haven't imported axio. We are going to import it. Axio dot get. So we need to go back to our API. So this fake API in if we Google, okay, let me just Google it. I think it's called JSON holder. Fake API, and we are looking for this one. That's what we want to use. Just copy this, and we put it here. So that one is done, but it won't work because we haven't imported the axio. So we need to Control-C, stop our React, and then import, install the axio, npm install axios, enter. So that should, while that one is running, we can try and import it. Import axios from axios. Wait and see what happens. So that one is imported. Let's start our React again. So close this. So hopefully that error will go away once our React is running. Say yes. Alright, so that one is done. Okay, so the next thing is to do to console log, make sure that we got that information. Dot log, and it's going to be let's just make sure we have that data. Now we need to initiate our function, to call our function get posts. So that we'll set our function. So let's have a look, see whether we manage to grab that data. Good developer tool, and see whether we have that data somehow, somewhere. Yes, we have it. Right, let's reduce. We don't need everything. We just need this data here. So if I change this to dot data, so that should give us just the data we need. That's it. So you can, as you can tell, we have got all the information we need. If you go here and you look, so we've got ID1, and that was the starting text. If you go back in our browser, you could see that was the very first one. Type. So that one's working. We don't know we can grab our information from the API. So the next thing is to find your rendering that information in the browser. So we have to put that info into our post state. So we can get rid of this. We can leave it there for now, but we don't need it now. So now we are going to set our posts. Set posts. This is going to be res dot data. We also need to determine the to set the length. I think I made a typo error here. X is set length. This length is going to be res dot data dot length. So if I change this to length, that should give us the number of posts. Let's see, 100. Okay, so now we have those posts. We have to pass them to the component, to our post component, to render them in the browser. So what we need to do now is to go to our posts. Posts equals, and you want to take to render posts. So that one is done. So we grab that info here. Use the structuring. I can just say posts. So we want to map through all that info first. So I'll just say this constant. I'll just say this display post. You can name your variables any way you like. Display posts because we have posts and you want to map through those posts. Map. So we need item. Because it's one item, we just don't need bracket. So what we need, so we have a list, if you like. Okay, and our first item is going to be, so let's just pick one item just to make sure everything works fine. So item dot, if I select just an ID, right, and then get, so that would just display the ID, and then here just display posts. Okay, so let's see what happens in our browser. Right, it's not displaying. I'll have a look, see why. Item ID, map item. For each item, you display that. Display posts. Let me go back here. Posts. Right. Posts. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. Let me console log. Console log. Make sure you're receiving our posts. Posts. Right, let's see whether we are receiving all those posts. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, so that's fine. We're receiving everything, but when we map through, it doesn't, something not right with our function here. Display post, display posts. Okay, let me just display. Okay. ID, let me see. What was the ID here? It's ID, isn't it? Or title. Right. Right. Should all work regardless. Let me see. Okay. The map function somehow is not working, and just figure it out. What posts, map item, list. This has to be right. Display posts. Right, let me see. There we go. Right, so managed to display the title. So what do we have? We have, if you look on our API, we have a body ID title. So we need to display an ID, title, and the body. Right. So okay. So you do the ID first. Item dot ID title and then the body. Item dot body. Right. So let's see what's on the display. Refresh. It's not displaying everything for some reason. Item ID, title, body. So let's refresh. Oh yes, it's displaying it now. Okay. But it's a bit crowded if you like. So for the purpose of this exercise, we can just display the ID and the title. I think that will do than displaying the body, because it's just experimenting. Okay, let's just display the ID and the title, leave the body out, so it'll be less crowded. All right, let's remove the body a bit, maybe a bit tidier. Right. Okay, so that's fine. So now we know we're displaying, but the problem is now we are displaying everything. So we want to fix that with the pagination. Okay. Right. For the we are getting some. Okay. So that one is done. We can remove this console log here. We don't need it anymore. Go back here, have a look. We're getting some warning. You need a unique key. Okay. So with the React, you have to assign a unique key for each item in a list. So it's going to be key because, and we can use item to ID. This will work for now for our experiment. So now that error should disappear and it's gone. Okay. We may need to do a bit of CSS to make it a bit tidier. But for now, let's just leave it as it is. Let's just try and implement the pagination side so that the post side is done. It's displaying everything. So we have to implement this bit here. Let me just go and delete. We don't need this bit now. Or can you just say okay, post? posts. Okay, it's pagination now. We need to implement this one now. We have to do a few things. So what do we need in here? We need the length, and we need the size, the page size. So at the moment, we can say we want to display 10 posts per click, per button, per selection. So we need to take that, to pass that information to our components. So we need length is equal to length, and what else do we need? We need the size of the page size equal to page size. So now the length and the page size, this information here, the length of the number of posts, if you like, that's what I call the length size. I could just call it number of posts. Maybe that one makes more sense. Number of posts, that does make sense. And page size. Okay. So now we have to grab that information in our page. So we have number of posts and page size. So we go up here, we grab that information, we use this structure. Number of posts. This structuring, you can just do it like that instead of using probes, number of posts. And then the other one was page size. Page size. Right, so that one is done. And I think our app is not broken yet, it's still working. Right, so that one's done. So the next thing is to use a JavaScript function we are going to use here to determine how many posts, to determine how many buttons we need to create. So there's this JavaScript function. So we don't need this one anymore. This JavaScript function called the sale method. So that's what we're going to use. It as you can see, that's how it works. It rounds off numbers. So if you have 1.4 like here, it rounds you up to 2. So we are going to use this math function to determine how many the number of buttons we need depends on the number of posts. So we go here. Constant number of so let's call this maybe number of pages we may need to display. Number of pages, because that will be determined by the number of posts divided by the how many posts for each page. So that will be number of posts divided by the page size. Okay. Right, so that's done. So you have to create another variable, another array if you like, constant. That's determine the number of buttons we have. The number of buttons we need for for each page. So I forgot to find. So let's call it number of buttons. Number of buttons. So initially, this array is going to have all the buttons we need. So say we have 10 button, number of posts divided by page size, determine the number of buttons you need to click on for each selection. So that gives you that number. So we put each one of these into this array. So to do that, we have to loop through so that we put these numbers in this array. So if we use the for loop, and we're going to start from 1, if you like, from position 1. Let I equals to 1, and then if I is less than number of pages, increment I. Increment I. So now we can push this number into this array we've created. So number of number of button, dot push I. So hopefully this will it will populate the buttons, the array with these numbers. If you have 10 pages to display, so you have 10 buttons. So to see how it works, whether it's working, let's check it. Right now we have to map through this array. So if I just call it constant buttons equals map no, number of buttons, number of buttons. I think there should have been a plural, so it makes sense when you say buttons. Number of buttons dot map and it's going to be use a button tag if you like. Button tag. We want to display each one. No. Right. It's not happy with this. Must have done an error somewhere. Should have been dot. Right. Now let's see whether I can display that. Right. Let's go back to our React app. Can't get rid of this now. Can't get rid of this. Right. Pagination buttons not defined. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. Right. Let's see. Right. Okay. Display 99. So that's not what expected. Right. We need to determine the what was the number of. Okay. Let me just console log here. See the page size. Console log page size. Let me see the page size here. I'll give you R1 page size. Right. That means the page size number wasn't right. We go back here, page size. Oh, we didn't assign the page size. So we need the page size to be 10 posts. Okay. Pagination that. So page size, if you set the page size to 10 posts, so now I know where the problem was. Let's go back here and let's see. So we have 1 to 9, but we want 1 to 10. So we could have missed this. What was the starting position? So we need 1 to 10. That means our loop less or equal to. That should have been the. Okay, so that one's done. Everything's done, although it's not active yet. Right, so that one is done. Now we have to determine the number of posts we need to display dynamically, if you like. So the thing to do here is to determine how many posts we are going to render. So that's why we use our function here, which is, it's not that one, this function here. So you can pick how many posts you want to render. So if you could make use of this JavaScript function, we copy that, constant post to render, post to render is equal to posts dot, and then you use that function slice. Say for example, if our starting position is 0, because it's an array, you start from 0, and the ending position is 10, so that should display. So if we change this, say post render post to render, so that should display only 10 because that's our selection. So if you go back here on our now we don't need this if we used it. So you see this one display only 10. So but we want to display this dynamically. So if I want to display, say from 11 to 20, all I need to do, we just go here and change this position. So if I want to display from 11 to 20, so that will give us another display, 11 to 20. So we are going to start from we start from 0. So it should be from 10 to 20. Okay. Right. But we have to display this dynamically. So we have to find out how to calculate the starting position and the end position. So we have to calculate the starting position. Right. Constant starting position equals. So what's going to be our starting position? Our starting position should be our selected button, our selected number, if like position, times the page size. So what we're going to do now is to say the selected number is 1. So it's going to be, so if I say selected, selected number or page, I call it selected number. That makes more sense. So selected number minus 1, because with array start from 0. So the first number, the first position, the first post is going to be in 0 position of an array. So that's why I'm subtracting 1. Subtracting 1. And this is going to be times the page size, the number of posts you want to display. So in our case here is the page size. So that will give us our starting point. And the ending point is going to be just the number selected times the page size. Right? So if you select position 1, 1 minus 1, 0, times the page size. So that will give us the end point. Constant end position equals selected number selected times the page size times the page size. So to get the first 10, just correct this one. To get the first 10, we select the first position, which will be a selected number. Number which we select 1, so that will be 1 minus 1, which is 0, times the page size. So that will be the 0 position of an array, and the end position will be the selected number. So if you selected 1, 1 times 10, that will give us 10. So the last position should be 10. So now we can use this into this function here, where you have the starting position and the end position. So if we just copy this so that we don't make any typo error, and the end position, okay, so that should give us a number, but the thing is we have to do it dynamically. So at the moment we have to determine the selected number, and what else do we need to include? Selected number, we have everything, so we have to create that one as well, the selected number, copy, so we change this to selected number, selected number, set selected number. Say for example, if one is selected here, what will be the result? Let me see whether this will work. Yeah, if you select 1, you get 1 to 9. Well, let's change this to another number. So if I select 2, what will be the number here? So it's from so it's working. Right, now we know everything is working, but we have to find a way of implementing this dynamically so that when I go here and click on button, that one that button feeds through to tell me, to give us the number which is being selected by the user. So now what we could do, we have to find a way of doing that. Right, the trick is going to be here to determine the selected button. So we have to use a function, the onClick function. On onClick, sorry, onClick. So what do we want to do? On click, we want to send that number back to the parent component, if you like. So it's going to be the selected number. Right. So we need the kind of function that to use to do that. So it's going to be let's call this function selected number. Because we are passing an argument, so we have to use a callback. I'll call this function selected number. Have I used that one before? No. Selected, would say selected number or selected button, whatever. I think I haven't used selected button. I can just say selected number. And then what we need is to pass that number we've selected, which is going to be the item. Okay. So that's the selected number. So we want to grab that number here. So it's going to be selected number equals, and it's going to be selected number. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same name, but we just use that. See that our program hasn't crashed here. Selected number is not defined. Okay, that's fine. So we have to define this function somewhere here. So this function is going to be constant selected number equals an arrow function, but it's going to pass the argument. It's going to pass e, which will be our value, which is selected, and this is going to change the state of this, which is going to be the selected number. I think we've used this one already. Okay, let's change this to selected button because I've already used that one. Selected button, selected button. Also here, we change this to selected button. Selected buttons. Okay. This is where they kind of grab this one. Selected button here, selected button E, and then we have to set this one to selected number. Copy. Within this function, we want to change this state to the number which is selected. So let's see whether got some kind of error. Let me see whether this will work. Selected is not defined. Selected button not defined. So we have to import it. Okay, selected button. I should go away. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So now we have selected button, selected button. So in theory now this should work. Right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think it's working. It's working. Okay, now you can see in our app. Select the first one, give us the 1 to 10. Second one, 11. Now the last one. So it's now displaying. It's displaying 10 posts per page. But you can normally, if you want, you can change. The rest is you can tidy it up with the CSS. We can remove this bit here. The pagination page. Okay. Okay, there goes my friend. It's been a bit long, but so that's it. That's how I implemented my pagination. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.